the All-Star break.
Unfortunately, they have. They just got done sweeping Toronto. They've won 4 in a row, and they're led by Rafael Palmeiro. Look at these games, 27 games over 500, 31 wins since the All-Star break. Rafi's got 39 RBIs in August. That's a record for the club. They've also got 52 home runs in the month of August. These guys very, very hot, trying to get ready for the playoffs.
Tigers, meantime, just trying to tidy things up, make sure it goes out on a high note here at Tiger Stadium. 15 games to go, and it will be Brian Moeller against Esteban Loaiza tonight. That's your pitching matchup. Tigers and the Rangers, first of a 4-game series. First pitch tonight is straight ahead. Getting ready for baseball at Tiger Stadium tonight. The Tigers lost yesterday 11-4, but they had beaten the Baltimore Orioles the 2 games before that. Now the Texas Rangers in with that 4-game winning streak. They are 79-52. They're challenging for the best overall record in the American League. Mark McLemore leads off. Then it's Pudge Rodriguez catching. He, like a lot of the Texas Rangers, having a huge August. Rusty Greer, a noted second half performer, is in left field. Juan Gonzalez in right. Then Palmeiro, a 9-game hitting streak, 17 out of 19, matter of fact. Todd Zeile, Lee Stevens, Royce Clayton, and Thomas Goodwin against Brian Moeller, who has won just once, Gibby, in the last 2 months. That was back on July the 23rd. Overall, 8-14. He started this year 3-2 with an ERA of about 3.
Well, he did pitch very well last week in Seattle. He ended up losing 3-2, but lost on a bobble, really, of his own. Didn't pick up a little number in front of the mound. Ended up costing the Tigers a run and Brian Moeller the loss.
Well, the other encouraging thing about Moeller, last time out, first time since April 21st, he did not walk a batter. And here he is getting ready. We've gotten used to seeing this, the routine before the game, the moment of silent reflection, remembering his dad, Fred Moeller, and Fred's initials, FM, in the dirt. As Brian gets ready for the matter at hand, he's being supported tonight defensively by Tony Clark, Damian Easley, Davy Cruz, Dean Palm around the horn. Brad Ausmus having another great year behind the plate.
Only 2 errors.
Mike Riley calls it up and outside. We're underway from Tiger Stadium. Kind of a chilly evening. 64 degrees here at Tiger Stadium.
Fall-like.
Of course, if this was April, we wouldn't be calling this a chilly evening.
See that jacket?
See a base hit in a right field. Mark McLemore opens up, second pitch of the ball game. And as we were talking about Brad Ausmus, Pudge Rodriguez comes to the plate now, and we note that we might have the 2 top defensive catchers in the American League. Charles Johnson certainly has to be on a short list too, but Pudge Rodriguez, not just the Gold Glove caliber. The defense is always story number 1 with this fellow, but he's also become the first 20-20 catcher ever. 20 home runs, 20 steals. Strike called. It's impressive, Gibby, when you look at what Texas has done in this month of August. They have raced out now to a 7.5-game lead on Oakland in that American League West, and it's not like Oakland has been playing bad baseball.
Well, actually, Texas has been well out in front of the pack in their division all year long, and Oakland kind of snuck up to 5.5 games back, which in Texas's mind was, oh, they're getting close. They've been 9.5 to 12.5 out all season. I remember in the '84 season that happened to us.
Ausmus firing down, the ball short, hopping on easily. McLemore dives in with a stolen base. That'll be his 13th.
Too bad here. Brad Ausmus gets this ball in good shape, has a real good shot to get Mark McLemore, but doesn't get a good throw off. If Brad's normal throw was there, McLemore would have been easily out. Not a good jump. Brian Moeller did a good job of holding him tight. You see Damian Easley taking one off the chest, keeping it close enough so McLemore doesn't try to advance any further.
That after it hit the lip of that infield grass. We've seen some big bounces off of that lip over the last few games.
So Field getting a little beat up now, late in the year.
Late in the Field's career. Rodriguez steps back from one. The count 1-2.
Good pitch tight. Rodriguez is going to be trying to go over to right field. That's his natural stroke, especially with 2 strikes. Also with the runner on second base, nobody out. Even more of a reason to hit the ball out this way.
Well, after Pudge Rodriguez, Rusty Greer hitting .299, Juan Gonzalez at .310, Palmeiro at .339. They don't fool around, these Texas Rangers. They come right at you. We go to 2-2. That is Mike Riley behind the plate in this ball game, calling the balls and strikes. Richie Garcia's at third. And Richie Garcia may have worked his last game ever behind home plate, unless the umpires decide to switch it up a little just to get him that one last game before the several American League umpires are asked to leave, supposedly, in a couple of days. Still 2-2 to Pudge Rodriguez.
Now, did you notice how Pudge Rodriguez right there, even though he's got 2 strikes, breaking ball, still trying to go out this way? I mean, it's an awesome approach. That's the way you give yourself a chance.
There's another catcher that does that for the New York Mets, does just fine, Mike Piazza. The 2-2. Whacked on the ground to short for Davy Cruz, and Pudge Rodriguez will be thrown out.
Great pitch by Brian Moeller, right down and in, right on the corner. Forced Pudge to go ahead and pull that ball to the shortstop. You can't force that ball there the other way.
Well, Moeller, remember, started this season with 6 innings of no-hit ball against these Texas Rangers. Opening day down in Arlington on April the 5th. 6 in the 3rd innings without a hit before the man on deck came through, Juan Gonzalez. This is Rusty Greer here. This is what you call the setup man. Rusty Greer's job is to get on. You've got righty, lefty, righty pop after that with Gonzalez, Palmeiro, and Zeal. High pop fly. Brad Ausmus is going to give chase. Right back near the screen, who's out of room. And Gibby, this Texas team, we mentioned this is their only trip in here in 1999, their last 4 games ever at Tiger Stadium. Johnny Oates is their manager. He, of course, came through Tiger Stadium as a member of the New York Yankees in the 1970s. His third base coach, Jerry Narron, same story. In fact, Jerry Narron got called up to the big leagues right here in Detroit. Joined the Yankees from their Tacoma affiliate. Made his major league debut right here. Pickoff play was on. McLemore able to get in under the tag of Cruz.
Well, Jerry Narron has a little bit of, I don't know if you'd call it history, but an interesting trinket here as a hitter. So
yeah.
if you should be happy he's not going to be a batter today.
Yep, Jerry Narron is the man who lined one right into this booth, right to this chair where Larry Osterman was sitting in the summer of '84. Some of you Tiger fans might remember what happened.
Clunk, knockout.
Greer fouls it out of play, and they always talk about the proximity of the broadcast booths. I'm amazed it hasn't happened more often, but I asked Jerry Narron what is his big Tiger Stadium memory, and even before he remembered making his big league debut here, he remembered, boy, I think I knocked out some poor announcer about 15 years ago.
Hey, you know, we haven't had any here by us this year.
I'll give Jerry a bat. He'll take care of it.
No, that's fine. I've attempted to catch enough balls in my career in Tiger Stadium with a glove.
Foul ball. Well, you'll have a chance again on Wednesday night. We want to spill the beans on this. Gibby and I are going to be out in the right field overhang to announce the Tigers-Rangers game on Wednesday night. We'll get a real nice view of Jeff Weaver.
Right there.
And maybe a chance to snag a home run ball up there.
We'll definitely have some hecklers out there. We'll be recruiting them. We'll have one inning that we can heckle.
It looks like that's the Sun Field. You see the people sitting in our seats out there? They were shading their eyes.
What we need to do is have people email in heckles.
Muller,
double play, yep.
Able to grab that one. He throws to Davy Cruz to complete the double play. Low line drive. And Muller grabbed it before it hit the ground, so the Tigers don't have to face Gonzalez, Palmeiro, and Zeal. At least not until next inning. Tigers coming up against Esteban Loaiza after this. Tigers in Texas from the corner tonight. And the Tiger lineup brought to you by our friends at Dodge. Do not adjust your set. It is Brad Ausmus, the catcher. Leading off for the Tigers for the second time this year. More on that in a moment. Davy Cruz, Dean Palmer, Tony Clark, Damian Easley, and then the DH Bobby Higginson. Juan Encarnacion has had a fine career against Esteban Loaiza. All the outfielders down at the bottom. That's unusual. Encarnacion, Kapler, and Kareem Garcia. Against the right-hander, who, like Kareem Garcia, hails from Mexico. This is Esteban Loaiza. Brad Ausmus, by the way, 5 for 5 against him this year. Takes up and in.
Pepsi pitching scouting report. Esteban Loaiza used to be in the bullpens. Got an outstanding sinker. He's got a good sinker if he doesn't overthink her. Or overtink her.
6 for 6 is Brad Ausmus off Loaiza this year. And actually going back to last year, 7 for his last 7. So Larry Parrish says it's not so much a hunch playing Ausmus as a leadoff man tonight. He says, look, you got Pudge Rodriguez catching for Texas. My leadoff hitter, I don't care if it's Ricky Henderson, is not running around out there tonight anyway. So let me get the guy who's most likely to get on base at the top spot in the order.
So does that mean you hit and run, or maybe you bunt him over? Stay tuned.
Cruz showing the bunt and takes a strike. Here's the Rangers defense. Todd Zeal's had a tough time picking it at third base. It's the killer G outfield. Greer, Goodwin, and Gonzalez. Now we mentioned Ausmus has led off before. Did that back on August the 13th. Shades of Bruce Kim did that a couple times for the Tigers in the Fidrich summer of '76.
Now look at right here. Here's a big gap between right here. Now this is what Davy Cruz. You see you work on hitting the ball right through that gap right there. Got the first baseman right there holding. Brad Ausmus on first base.
There's the bunt. Pudge Rodriguez grabs it. It's a foul ball. Mike Riley came racing out, waving his arms furiously to say, hey, don't even bother throwing it. I'm calling that thing foul. 1-2.
Well, look at Pudge right here. He gets out of the box very quickly. How quick he almost beats Davy Cruz out of the box. Watch this. He's right on top of him. Good thing it was a foul ball. Not bad technique right there. Just didn't get it out in the playing field.
Right to first. Lee Stevens took a moment. He gets it over to Clayton. The return is not in time. Fielder's choice, 3-6.
Actually, good job by Davy right here. You see he's still trying to go in through that hole, hit behind the runner. And Lee Stevens right here really probably should have stepped on first base. They could have went for the tag, but didn't do it. Davy hustles. See right here, you could have peeled right around here, touched, then you got to tag him at second though. See how Brad did a good job of running out of the baseline there, tried to get that ball to hit him in the back.
So here's the former Texas Ranger, Dean Palmer, putting up the kind of numbers he used to put up with the Rangers. 29 home runs, 81 runs batted in. He was a career .250 hitter, though. with the Rangers. He's at 261 for the Tigers, and it's been a lot higher than that. Topping out at 282. Cruz, the Tiger base runner. Palmer sends it foul upstairs off Esteban Loaiza, one of two starting pitchers tonight, Gibby, who were born New Year's Eve 1971. How often do you see that the two starting pitchers in the game were born on the exact same day of the exact same year?
New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve 1971, both Brian Moeller and Esteban Loaiza.
Was that planned? How do you plan that out?
One of them was born in North Carolina, the other in Mexico, so I don't think it was any kind
but
of...
I'm just saying, you know, sometimes as a parent, you plan out the births of your children. No, let's just try for New Year's Eve.
Our little tax deduction. Look at him, honey.
You know, how about that? Happy New Year! And they have a new child.
Interestingly put, 0-2 still to count to Dean Palmer.
Well, I can only say that because I witnessed the whole thing 3 times. So.
You were in the room, huh?
Yeah, it's cool.
It is. I've been there twice myself.
It's a real tearjerker.
Palmer to left field, didn't get all of it. Rusty Greer loping over, makes the catch, 2 down.
Got in on Dino a little bit.
So Cruz back to first. Here comes Tony Clark with that great big bat that is called the Sam bat. Kareem Garcia was the one who brought it to the Tigers' attention. You see the bat right on it. That is a Canadian-made bat that is called the Sam bat. And it looks, as the players are saying, more like a table leg than anything else. Kamara Barti quoted in the paper today saying, I believe the guys clean those bats with Pledge.
Why, do they smell?
No, I don't know. It just looks like a varnished table leg.
I believe they use ash, don't they, for bats? Pretty hard wood to get.
Tony Clark fouls one right back. Well, the key to it is, and these things are very hard, and Tony Clark says he has only cracked one bat, not really literally broken any in the couple of months that he's been using this thing. Damian Easley also using this bat, reports a similar occurrence. Gabe Kapler started using the bat. Kareem Garcia has been using the bat.
See Loaiza just pounding Tony in on the hands. That's 2 balls right off the handle. Right off the trademark, the first one, that one in even tighter.
But the bat is still intact.
You know, it's funny, you see a lot of bat companies come and go, but you always got Louisville Slugger. They're the old standby. They're the oldest bat company. Gilrich and Brad.
In suburban Louisville, actually right across the river, right?
You ever been down to that Louisville Slugger Museum?
Sure have, actually.
Smells like burnt wood.
Line drive out of play. Well, there are some guys that go through a lot of bats in a season. Orlando Cepeda believed that each bat had only 1 hit in it, and he threw his bats away after every hit. That means he threw away 2,351 bats in his day.
Well, I used to think there was only 1 strikeout in every bat, so
Is that
after
right?
I struck out, I just broke them. And you can look that number up.
Tony Clark, he is down on strikes. And he leaves a Sam bat right there. Bat boy will have to come on out and take it back. Tigers and the Rangers are scoreless. We'll play the second after this on Fox Sports Net Detroit.
Fox Sports Net Detroit, home of the Tigers.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net Detroit, brought to you by Comerica. We listen, we understand, we make it work. By Pepsi, the joy of cola. By the new Dodge, see the friendly Dodge dealer near you. And by McDonald's. Did somebody say McDonald's? Juan Gonzalez, a harmless little tapper back to Brian Moeller. That's got to make Mo feel pretty good, because Juan Gonzalez He's not an easy guy to just go ahead and take care of on one pitch. Moeller has just done it to open the second inning. But with that out of the way, here comes Rafael Palmeiro. And Moeller has fought his own personal wars against Palmeiro. Rafael 5 out of 8 lifetime against Mo, including 4 extra base hits. Taking all the way is Palmeiro, strike 1.
He's been crushing 39 RBIs. Look at his career off of Brian Moeller. 39 RBIs in August. And carrying this team. Him and Pudge Rodriguez. You know, last year, we had he was in our scouting report, and you said that he was stats conscious.
I think you said it, but
well,
yeah.
But it was your idea, and he thinks I said it. So when we were in the clubhouse last week, remember, he looked at me like he was staring daggers down my eyes. Now, are you going to tell him that that was your little thing?
Oh, sure.
And I just merely read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the fall guy. Okay, Josh.
Bumped out of play, it's still 1-2. Well, that was just the product of a lengthy production meeting. That wasn't. I think we all agreed on that one.
You were the guy that. No, I didn't know. I commented on another thing that we couldn't use.
Well, for the record, Rafael Palmeiro, although he may be somewhat stats conscious,
having a heck of a year.
I don't blame him for preening when he looks at those stats. They're incredible.
But he thinks that was my idea.
But just because I told you to say it, and
and what was in the scouting report? That was we always pool our information. And I said, really? Okay. And I read it.
If I told you to jump off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge?
If I thought it was true.
Anyway, Moeller's 1-2. He's outside 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Mackinac Bridge, maybe not. Clinton River Bridge, yep. I used to do it all the time as a kid. Did you ever jump off bridges? It's no big deal.
Got him. Moeller takes care of Palmeiro this time.
Boy, Mo pitches Gonzalez well. Here's a sequence on Palmeiro. You see he's taking the first pitch. And he goes to work here, gets ahead of him. It sure does help to throw strikes. Goes up top, puts him down. Sure helps when you get 2 strikes.
Moeller to Todd Zeile, who has not been insulted by us on this broadcast. Not much to insult. Todd Zeile, one of those Boy Scout types. Fun guy to watch play. Takes a couple strikes here. And is behind 0-2 to Moeller. Now the Tigers and Texas again tomorrow night at 7:05. Mike Morgan against Dave Borkowski. It's Larry Parrish's team. We talked about it yesterday, just trying to perform some cosmetic surgery on the standings page here. They are right now a half a game out of last place, just a shred ahead of Kansas City. Not much difference between 3rd place and 5th place in the AL Central right now. Strike 3 to Zeile. And Brian Moeller has got it going on early here. A couple strikeouts and a couple of tough hitters in the 2nd inning. Here comes the hottest Tiger, Damian Easley. He'll lead off the Tigers' 2nd. Well, Damian Easley had that big series against the Baltimore Orioles. As you'd expect, he's feeling pretty good about himself right now. We talked to him about the hot streak right before the game.
Well, I mean, obviously it's a confidence booster that you go up there and you're able to drive balls and you're getting results out of them. I don't think I've been doing anything drastically different. Just for some reason now, all of a sudden, all the work I've been putting in the cage and on the field is starting to pay off, and hopefully it doesn't stop.
Indeed. Right now, Damian Easley with 18 homers, 59 runs batted in.
And it is crazy how it goes, but a lot of it has to do with confidence. You finally get a breakthrough hit, things kind of snowball. Now what you want to watch out is that you don't get greedy up there.
Hard shot off the chest of Todd Zeal. He recovers and throws out Damian.
Sometimes you start to see the ball so good, and you start to put such a good swing on it. Then you can put too good of a swing and you go just a little too far and you get back into those bad habits. So Damian, beware.
One down, and here's Bobby Higginson. See Esteban Loaiza asking for a change of signs here. Bobby trying to get that batting average back up to where he likes it. 239 is it right now. Of course, he missed a month with the problem with that big toe. Slams this one, but foul. Look at that thing go up on the roof. Got it up over Hank Greenberg's name and beyond. But 3 sections foul, unfortunately. The count 1-1. Look out. Bobby jackknifing out of the way. 2 balls and a strike to count. Are you bringing your glove, by the way, tomorrow or Wednesday? I mean, when we're out there. At
Definitely. And I think my glove's nicer than your glove.
I beg your pardon?
My glove's nicer than your glove.
Okay.
We'll compare gloves.
That's fine.
Are you going to bring your really, really old glove, or?
Well, if I can find it. From our move here to Detroit.
Want me to bring one of my little boys? Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Oh, I'm right-handed. Towards shallow left, and Royce Clayton back to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Hey, Tiger fans, who's your pick for the McDonald's Player of the Game? Just call anytime during today's game and place your guess. If your pick matches ours, and you're eligible to win a McDonald's Family 4-pack of tickets to an upcoming game. Stay tuned, you could be right.
Now, let me ask you this, Gibby. When you were growing up, be honest with me, whose model glove did you have?
Don't know. Just a A2000 Wilson.
There wasn't a big leaguer's name written in it?
No. Not that I can remember.
Juan Encarnacion takes a strike. I talked to a couple people today. I don't know why this subject even came up, quite honestly, but I've had a couple people tell me today about their Al Kaline model gloves when they were growing up here in Detroit.
I think I might have had one Al Kaline glove. By the way, if you don't have any glove, call me. I'll bring you one.
No, I got one, thank you. But you asked for the oldest, most beaten up one. That one might still be in a box somewhere.
I've got one that I used probably in the early 80s. For a long time. I had it redone one time, and then I had to put it to rest at the end of my career. Just too ragged out.
How many gloves gamer gloves did you go through in your career?
How many? Lots, but not many of them made it to the game.
Well, why is it a Juan Encarnacion up and outside, 1-2? Well, Gibby and I will be up there in the right field overhang doing the ball game Wednesday night. Looking forward to it. Encarnacion down on strikes. So Loaiza has a couple of strikeouts so far. So does Brian Moeller. And we'll come back for the 3rd inning at Tiger Stadium right after this on Fox Sports Net Detroit. Tigers in Texas are tied 0-0. At least so far tonight. Our next Tigers telecast tomorrow night. Game 2 of the series against the Rangers. John Keating's pregame show starts at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Net Detroit. Lee Stevens opens up by taking ball 1 from Brian Moeller. Moeller allowed a leadoff single to Mark McLemore. Second pitch of the ball game. He's been brilliant ever since. Foul ball's going to drift out of play. Brian Moeller certainly is due for some good fortune, Mr. Gibson. Just one win since June the 30th. This is now August the 30th. Overall, 8 wins, 14 losses for Brian Moeller. Lee Stevens pops one up in the infield. Tony Clark jogging under it. He's got it. Not a single ball has been hit on the fly to the outfield in this game by the Texas Rangers. And remember, the Texas Rangers are arguably the best offensive team in baseball.
Big series there, Oakland, New York. Look at there, Cincinnati and Atlanta. And that right there, I can't watch.
Royce Clayton barely into right center field. Here comes Kepler on the run. He cuts in front of Kareem Garcia. Boy, it came a long way.
Well, if you remember early when Gabe started playing center field with the Tigers, Josh, a couple dropped in. And then he does a really good job looking. He's saying, I got it, I got it, I got it. And Kareem thinks he's got it, but he calls it all the way. That's the only sure way of making sure nothing drops in. He learned his lesson. Took one time. That reminds me of Chet Lemon. Every single one. Anyone he could get to, whether it was all the way over to the right field foul line, he called it and got it. Of course, with the rocks I was featuring, no problem. But for hands.
0-1 to Tommy Goodwin. He is up and in. Chester Lemon traded to the Tigers right before the '82 season. That was a Steve Kemp deal. You know, Chet used to be a shortstop. He came up as a shortstop third baseman in the White Sox system. Maybe explaining that penchant for the good range.
Tell you what, he loved that batting cage too.
Check swing and a called strike, 2-2.
Nobody spent more time in a batting cage than Chet Lemon.
The 2-2 just outside.
Don't want to walk Goodwin. He's been struggling and has pretty good speed.
Yeah, if he wasn't struggling, you better believe he'd be the leadoff man in this lineup instead of batting number 9. Slash towards second, big hop for Damian Easley. Throws out the speedy Goodwin, that'll do it. And still, the only hits in the ballgame so far were by the leadoff man in the first inning. Gabe Kapler will come up for the Tigers in the bottom of the third. No score. No score between the Tigers and the Rangers heading to the bottom of the third. And folks, you can get a piece of history by ordering your limited edition, individually numbered final game program here at Tiger Stadium. The same one to be sold right here at the corner on September the 27th. Place your advance order by calling that number, 1-800-221-2324. Now, that last game is, of course, a sellout. It sold out in about a half an hour when the tickets went on sale this winter. But before Monday, September 27th, there are tickets available for the rest of that weekend series against Kansas City. September 24th through 26th. We invite you to come on down for that. Or right before the Royals, you've got the Indians in for 4. Gabe Kapler opens the inning against Esteban Loaiza. Got the Blue Jays coming in the weekend of September 10th through 12th. That will be the second to last homestand, a very brief one. Tigers then off on the all Sox road trip, the white and the red. Come back with Cleveland and Kansas City to finish up Tiger Stadium, literally. Season ends on the road with 3 at Minnesota, then 3 in Kansas City. Kapler falls behind 1-2. We've talked about Esteban Loaiza, and now he can really sink that ball, get it darting around on a right-hander. He's been terrific of late. He's not lost as a starter, Gibby. He's 6-0 since coming out of the pen. Follows up 82 off speed with a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Well, there you can see it. The speed variation, moving it around, throwing quite a few pitches inside early in the game. Has great impact on the hitter. Gets him thinking. Don't like it.
The Rangers have told him to stick with it, that hard sinking stuff. His tendency has been to hang some sliders, hang some changeups. They're telling him, Johnny Oates saying, look, it's okay to mix in a change, but stay with that sinker. That's your best pitch. Two-two to Kapler. And he bangs it into left field, a base hit. Maybe you've talked about the adjustments he's been making, and it seems like even over the course of a single at bat, he's making adjustments these days.
Well, he isn't. He's staying back. We talked about that mechanism right here. It goes back. He's much slower, much over his feet. He's got good balance. Catches this hanging breaking ball and pulls it through the hole.
Now the two friends from Mexico, Karim Garcia and Esteban Loaiza. Karim takes that hard fastball inside. Karim Garcia's first two major league hits were off of Esteban Loaiza. That at the age of 19. Back in the 1995 season, Karim debuting as a Dodger and Esteban Loaiza a Pittsburgh Pirate. Rodriguez loaded up, looked like he was going to throw on to first base. Kapler diving in.
That's the little things that Pudge Rodriguez do, even though he didn't throw it. He let Gabe Kapler know, I'm looking at you.
Pull right off that catcher's mask of Pudge Rodriguez. 1-2 the count. Well, Karim Garcia was giving us a little geography lesson about Mexico before the game, saying that even though he and Loaiza are buddies, they are really not close to each other on the map. Loaiza from Tijuana, which of course is right below San Diego, near California. Karim is from Sonora, which is more towards Arizona. Check swing. And the count 2-2.
Good job, Karim, laying off that like a little cutter. Raking inside.
Kapler chased back by Loaiza. Scoreless game, bottom of the third inning. Upstairs. And we'll see if Kapler might be on the move here. That's dangerous, though. Karim Garcia, not always the best contact hitter. You've got Pudge Rodriguez as the Texas catcher. Gabe stays put. It's ball four. 2 on, nobody out. And to the top of the order for Brad Ausmus. You talked earlier about walking the number 9 hitter in the order. You see that look on Johnny Oates' face. He knows that it's up to the top of the order for Ausmus. And interesting here, you've got 2 on, nobody out. But remember, we told you Ausmus is 7 for his last 7 against Loaiza. He's been pounding this guy. So do you let him swing away, or do you play the percentages and have him bunt these runners over? That's what the Tigers are trying to figure out right here. Ausmus a solid single to open the Tigers' first inning. Looking to swing, and look at this. Todd Zeile thought about going to his own bag. He will turn it instead into a double play. And for the fans that will catcall now and say, hey, why didn't you bunt? Well, again, I'm sure what Larry Parrish is thinking is, hey, Ausmus has been killing this guy. I'm going to give it a shot.
No doubt. And that's the part of the game where you got to make decisions. You look at McLemore. He got across that bag quick. And I'm sure LP saying, I should have bunted, but that's the game.
Let's see if Davy Cruz can salvage the inning. Kapler's now at third. And that's strike one called.
Remember when I was saying it'd be great to read tomorrow's newspaper today? You'd know that you were going to hit into a double play, you would bunt. But we don't have that luxury.
That would be your one wish still, to have tomorrow's newspaper today.
Well, you top it. You also would find out that the market went down 176 points today. Or something like that. Wouldn't you love to know it?
I think I'd go more for peace on earth. That's the politically correct answer. Davy Cruz into right center. Gonzalez on the run to the warning track. He's got it. And
Don't we have peace?
You and I do.
On earth.
Tigers had 2 on, nobody out. They could not score. 0-0 after 3. To the 4th inning at the corner. Time for the Aflac trivia question tonight. Here it is. Juan Gonzalez of the Rangers, a 2-time AL MVP. Which 2 Tigers were also 2-time American League MVPs? Give you the answer coming up. Juan Gonzalez right behind the umpire, winning the award in 1996 and 98. Dancing to music that only he can hear. As McLemore takes, and the count 2-0. There's a handful of 3-time American League MVP winners. Mostly Yankees. Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, and the great Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio won it in both 41 and 47. Those were 2 huge years for Ted Williams, too. Won the Triple Crown, didn't win the MVP. It's kind of unbelievable. And we talked in the pregame show about Rafael Palmeiro having an outside shot for the first Triple Crown in the American League in about 30 years. McLemore takes one out of play, 3-2. '41, Ted Williams hit .406. Was not the MVP. DiMaggio got it for that 56-game hitting streak. That was that same year. McLemore is on base to start the 4th inning. There's only been 1 base runner for the Texas Rangers, and it's been Mark McLemore both times. Led off with a single in the 1st, led off here in the 4th with a walk.
And look at here, the Tiger pitchers, 9 walks yesterday. Previously only 7 in their previously 6 games.
Now you see Dan Worthen, the pitching coach, and what a long afternoon it was for him. He was out with the pitchers earlier today. They were working on a bunch of things out at the pitcher's mound for about half an hour.
I think it's a great idea.
Budge Rodriguez takes down and outside.
You know, really in just about any other sport, you always have little practices and run-throughs. It's kind of hard with baseball because you play every day. But why not come out here now? You guys obviously have not executed as well as you know you can. So you have these little walkthroughs and kind of, if not even walk through it, talk about it, just kind of get a mental picture. So if it comes up in the game, maybe you'll handle it the way you know your ability will let you.
It was about 4 o'clock today that Dan Worthen got everybody together. Number 31 is Dan Worthen. He's the instructor. There are his pupils. First day of school.
Well, actually not the first day, but you see LP standing right there.
For my kids, it's the first day of school.
Okay. So he had his first meeting on the first day of school. For some.
Right. The 1-0 to Rodriguez. Shot towards the right field corner. On the run, Kareem Garcia, and it bounces by him in foul ground. It's just a long strike. And for these players, it's a kind of a weird time of year for anybody who's got a family. Most of the Tigers, of course, do not live in Detroit in the off season, so the wives, the kids are back in the hometowns right now with the kids starting up school. Five weeks or so of missing the family for a lot of these guys. Two balls and a strike to count to Pudge Rodriguez. Josh Lewin, Kirk Gibson with you at Tiger Stadium. With 14 games left after tonight here at the corner. Tonight, the Rangers and the Tigers are scoreless as we play the fourth inning. Now, yesterday's final 11-4. Gibby was talking about the 9 walks yesterday. You know, the Orioles made a few mistakes too yesterday. They made 3 errors running the bases yesterday. They still won by 7. Davy Cruz flips it over to Easley. Nicely turned. The Tigers get the double play. That's 2 ground balls to Davy Cruz from Pudge Rodriguez tonight.
Well, good job, Brian Moeller. Looks like a changeup. Perfect position, breaking down in the zone. Easy turn. Double play, 2 away.
So the pitching taking center stage so far. You've got Brian Moeller, who seems to have the changeup going tonight. Esteban Loaiza has topped out at 96 miles an hour. Not quite Nolan Ryan. But with a off-speed pitch, it's been going up there about 80. Loaiza's been tough too with that differential. Rip and a miss by Greer. And the count 2-1. Yesterday it was C.J. Nitkowski who got the start, his first major league start since the end of the '96 season. He was the losing pitcher, but save for that bad first inning, he actually was comfortable with how things went yesterday. 2-2 to Greer. Nitkowski, another guy who knows he's not Nolan Ryan, knows he is not going to beat you by throwing 100 miles an hour. It's got to be location. That's what CJ did not have in the first inning at all yesterday. The Orioles scored 3 times against him.
We had the hot dog guy yesterday. Did you hear that guy selling peanuts?
Is it the same guy? Just
Peanuts, peanuts.
Different product tonight. We got an email yesterday telling us that that gentleman's name is Charlie. The man with the big voice. We didn't quite get that yesterday. Sorry, Charlie. The 2-2 pitch. A foul ball right back. I'm amusing myself. Sorry.
What's new?
Well, yeah.
Usually at home you're not so bored, you know. You have to amuse yourself. Got the kids to take care of.
I do get some help on that occasionally too. Outside, we go to 3-2 on Greer. Now I wonder if Charlie or any other assorted vendors will be able to swing by our broadcast location on Wednesday night when we're up there in the right field overhead.
The singing hot dog vendor, just point out, is Charlie. He's also an actor. He's also obviously a friendly and talkative guy.
Little half swing roller near Dean Palmer. He bobbles it, picks it up. Safe, the call at first. That has not been happening that often to Dean Palmer this year. Tigers very happy with his work defensively, but he had the bobble right there and it cost him.
You see it hits that edge right there of the grass. See it right there on the edge. Stays down. And Greer hustling all the way, beats it out. And that is big because you now got to face Juan Gonzalez.
That is scored in error.
Who has 106 RBIs.
That's the 15th error by Dean Palmer, by the way. But a couple of years ago, he was at 30.
Look at the player profile brought to you by Toyota. Juan Gonzalez. Less bulk, more home runs. He's an RBI machine, now has 106. Bryce Fleury happily is in Boston. You know what that means. Gonzalez was 8 for 8 against Bryce Fleury. 3 home runs, 4 doubles, and a triple.
Yeah, not even a single mixed in there against old Bryce.
Just all pop.
Fleury never did get to face him this year. He was on the DL at the beginning of the season when the Tigers opened the season in Texas.
Not a good count here, 2-0 against Juan Gonzalez.
Now make it 2-1. MVP numbers last year, no question. That was not a cheapy award. And Juan Gonzalez, if you look at the last 3 years, I mean, it's just unbelievable what he's been able to do. Last year, 50 doubles plus 45 home runs. '50 and 45 doubles and home runs. You know how many times that's been done? 3. Lou Gehrig did it. Albert Bell, who was in here yesterday, did it back in '95. Juan Gonzalez did it last year. How about Bell yesterday, tying a major league record with 4 doubles off 4 different pitchers in a stretch of 5 innings in the game yesterday.
You know, Albert, he's interesting, but he knows how to play.
Called a strike on the outside corner. Now Greer will get moving on a 3-2 count with 2 down. Gonzalez with more than 1,000 career runs batted in already. Took him only 1,200 games to get there. Lines this one out of play. We'll do it again. You know, he and Pudge Rodriguez both, Gibby, are terrific, what you call bad ball hitters. You bust him inside, you pitch him down and away. Gonzalez can still find a way to rope it to the outfield hard. Again, Greer on the get-go. Ball 4 to bring up Paul Merrow, who is going to be, unless there's a stunning upset, the American League Player of the Month.
You know, it worries me here. The Tigers have given the Rangers an extra out here. And it's like a buzzsaw. You got Rusty Greer, he's on. Juan Gonzalez, now he's on. And worse yet, Rafael Palmeiro now up to bat. Nobody hotter.
40 home runs already, 127 driven in. That's a pretty good year.
Well, the first time around the order, Brian Moeller ahead of everybody in the count. All of a sudden behind. And the numbers aren't good when you're behind. Take a look at the outfield alignment, pretty much straight up and deep. Palmeiro mostly a pull hitter up this way when he hits his home runs.
And he's hit 15 of them just in this month of August. Going for one right there. It's 2-1. That changeup from Moeller continues to be a nice pitch. Palmeiro struck out in the second inning. Trying to cash in a couple of Ranger runners here. Scoreless game, fourth inning. Strike called, 2-2. Palmeiro not really a big guy. He's just got a very quick bat. Very strong wrists. One of those trophy swings. Just the perfect left-handed stroke. To the opposite field. And it's Juan Encarnacion finding the range, finds a baseball. That will end the inning. Brian Moeller can exhale. The error did not cost him. Dean Palmer, who made that error, will lead off for the Tigers in the bottom of the fourth. Back to the Aflac trivia question. Juan Gonzalez, a two-time American League MVP. Two Tigers were as well. Who were they? Well, Hank Greenberg and Hal Newhouser. Newhouser back-to-back in 44 and 45. And Hank Greenberg, of course, played in the American League at the same time as Jimmy Fox and Lou Gehrig. That's a tough room. Tough to get your due when those other big-time first basemen are around. Of course, he certainly got his due here in Detroit. Dean Palmer takes a strike, but you know, as we talk about all the great young shortstops in the game right now in the American League, guys like Alex Rodriguez and Jeter and Garcia Parra, it's a tough time to break in as a shortstop and get your due. That must have been what it was like for Greenberg back in the day as a Tiger, trying to get the national publicity.
Wasn't Wally Pipp a shortstop?
Honestly, I don't
Remember
know.
the Wally Pipp story?
Well, Wally, I mean, he ended up, of course, at first base.
My point was going to be, Wally Pipp was a player who replaced Wally Pipp. Remember?
Was that the guy named Gehrig?
But Wally Pipp was an everyday player.
Mm-hmm.
Got hurt. Gehrig came in. The rest of the story. What else I'm saying is you're talking about all these other shortstops, how it seems to be full.
Right.
Baseball's funny. People come out of nowhere. If you're good enough, they'll make room for you.
Now, who replaced Gehrig?
Good question.
Well, you know it.
No, I don't. Quit writing it down. I'm making it sound smart.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. Dean Palmer is down on strikes. That will be discussed for a moment.
Dino didn't like it. We're going to take a look at the pitch. I think Dino felt this ran in off the plate. Mike Crowley says it caught the corner. And again, you see Loaiza working that inside corner.
And by the way, for scoring at home, Babe Dahlgren is the answer to the trivia question.
How many people have ever heard of Babe Dahlgren?
Well, Mrs. Dahlgren. Tony Clark down a couple of strikes. He struck out to end the first inning. Tony in with an 8-game hitting streak.
Now Loaiza threw 2 pitches hard on Tony's hands first time up. So is Tony going to be looking in there? Or does he go fastball away? Yep, off the plate.
Off the plate, 1-2. That fastball pretty consistently at around 95 from Loaiza.
Still think he's going to try and get him in. Going doubling up away.
Yep, same pitch. 95, missing the corner. Maybe now setting up that sinker.
Yeah, breaking ball in. Be my guess. Breaking ball in.
Tony Clark goes down to get it. Sends it out towards right field, but it's not deep enough. Juan Gonzalez makes the catch. You can hear the wind is blowing in at Tiger Stadium tonight.
Well, that's just kind of veteran Pudge Rodriguez all of a sudden. You see how he has enough confidence in his pitcher, Esteban Loaiza. Gets ahead 0-2. 2 pitches just off the outside edge. Then he comes back with that breaking ball. Totally confident to waste 2 pitches. If he gets Tony to swing at him, no problem. If not, he always comes back to what he wanted to do, and that was the breaker in. Tony going down on strikes.
Easily backed off the plate. And remember when the Tigers were in Texas a couple of weeks ago, Rangers manager Johnny Oates was raving about how well his guys pitched Damian Easley. Damian notoriously had been a Ranger killer. But then the Rangers kind of changed their game plan on him and clamped down on Damian. Tigers losing 2 of those 3 games in the middle of the month.
Yeah, Loaiza, a lot of confidence here tonight, Josh. 2-0, little off-speed pitch there. Damian looking for the fastball.
Well, it's been going so well for this guy lately. We mentioned he has not lost as a starter. Last time out, it held the Yankees to 3 runs in 7 innings. Easily smokes one towards left center. And that's going to fall in. Takes a high hop. Goodwin will miss the mark. And easily in there with a 2-out double. And part of the scouting report on Tommy Goodwin is that you can run on him. Mike Cameron tagged up from second and scored on a fly ball to Goodwin last year.
Yeah, right here, hanging slider. Damian gets it out, and like you said, he knows who's out there in center field. Doesn't hesitate to take the bag on Tom Goodwin. 2 outs. It's okay to make the second out at second base, even if you do get caught. But the play works out. Tigers with the chance to take the lead here. Higgy up with the chance to hit Damian in.
Boy, you'd love to see that for Brian Moeller, too, as well as he's pitched tonight. Moeller pitched about this well in Seattle, too, last time out. And again, the Tigers just couldn't seem to get any runs for him.
Loaiza opening Higgy up inside. See Higgy pretty good with 2 outs and men in scoring position.
Pops this one up. Mark McLemore says he's got it. He does. And the Tigers do not score. At the end of 4 innings now at the corner. A pitching duel. Todd Zeile will lead it off in the Rangers' 5th in just a moment. No score, but we do have a game summary brought to you by Comerica Bank. Through 4, Brian Moeller. Only 1 hit allowed to Gabe Kapler. Continues to sizzle up there at the plate for the Tigers. Esteban Loaiza trying to run his record to 8-1 overall here. And we do get to the Rangers' 5th inning. Todd Zeile, first ball swinging, a worm burner over there to Davy Cruz. 1 down. Tigers in Texas again tomorrow. David Borkowski against Mike Morgan. Then on Wednesday, those are our seats, Gibby. Our cameraman Mule will be taking that guy's spot. He'll be right there in front of us.
I thought that was Mule.
No. Look at that, though. He's got the camcorder working. He's got the foul pole in sight. Lee Stevens with a rip and a miss. And we talked about it a bit yesterday, but you're seeing so much of this now at Tiger Stadium. 15 games to go. The shutter bugs are coming out.
Think this guy right here will ever remember Tiger Stadium?
Oh, he will now, sure.
He won't remember that it used to be green, though. He doesn't even have a hot dog or anything. Of course he's not going to remember. Go fill that kid's face up.
Well, maybe he's already had a couple and now he's recovering.
No, you would see it. It'd be on his face if he had something to eat. Looks like he's videotaping mom and little guy by dad. Yep, he'll see it someday.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Lee Stevens.
Do you take a lot of home videos or, videos wherever?
My wife does constantly.
Why not you?
Lazy.
That's
pretty
honest.
much.
Kind of like it is in my house, but it's me who's not lazy. But really, everybody pick up that camera. You'll enjoy it later.
Really, I mean, you're seeing so much of that at Tiger Stadium now. Middle of the game and especially end of the game when the fans are hanging around to get a look at what the stadium looks like when the lights are about to be turned out. High drive towards left center. Gabe Kapler makes the catch for the second out. And folks, you can be here tomorrow and Wednesday as the Tigers take on the Rangers at 7:05. Prior to tomorrow night's game, members of the Detroit Lions who played at Tiger Stadium will be honored in an on-field ceremony. Voice of the Lions, Mark Champion, will be the MC. For tickets, call 248-25-TIGER. Last vestiges of the fact that they played football right there with the possession footballs. Royce Clayton fouls one hard back near the net. One and one to Royce Clayton. He's hit safely in 6 out of 7. And he's the guy they got for Fernando Tatis in the deal with the St. Louis Cardinals last summer. Tatis having a terrific year now as the Cardinals' everyday third baseman. Well, you like how confident Moeller has been tonight with the off-speed and breaking stuff. This is a tough team to challenge with that. The Texas Rangers. They've had at least 10 hits in a game. 9 games in a row coming in tonight. Wild rip and a miss. It's 2-2.
Perfect game. Pitchers matchup. Kind of like.
Very enjoyable departure from the 11-4 yesterday. Little chopper swept towards Moeller. He'll let it go. Dean Palmer's going to let it go. It'll get stuck in the grass and go for an infield base hit with 2 out. Only the second hit allowed by Brian Moeller.
Well, what are you going to do about this right here? Mo, probably, even if he catches it, can't stop and throw out Clayton. Dino's hoping it gets out of that grass and rolls foul. Doesn't happen. Rangers have their second hit.
Got to get down like Lenny Randle and try to blow that thing foul.
But then you're for sure you're in trouble.
Tom Goodwin takes outside. Lenny Randle once played for these Texas Rangers. He, I believe, was the guy that punched out his manager, Frank Lucchese. That was an interesting year for the Rangers. in the mid-70s. And Billy Martin eventually managed that team, but it was Whitey Herzog when the Rangers got moved over. Ted Williams had the team for a year when they got relocated from Washington, D.C. But then it was a young Whitey Herzog who took over. Then on to Billy Martin, then on to a cast of thousands. They've got stability now with Johnny Oates. A strike to Tom Goodwin. Runner goes. Ausmus firing down. The tag is down. And that's the end of the inning. A caught stealing. Brad Ausmus nails Royce Clayton. And that's how we get halfway through the ball game. No scores. Encarnacion, Kapler, and Kareem Garcia get set to come up. Tigers will bat on the bottom of the 5th in just a moment. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net Detroit is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota every day. And by Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. And I do believe we need a hot dog sponsorship too. Here's your spokesperson.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. He's sizing it up. Oh, boy. See, that's baseball. Talking to your buddy. Killing the hot dogs. Good. Get it out of the way. Ooh, a little onion there on the paper. Clean house. Don't get messy.
Well, that guy looks awfully neat. 1 ball, no strikes to Juan
Encarnacion.
Encarnacion.
He's relaxing. I know he's getting ready to just incredibly punish this. Did you see him?
Yes.
Oh.
We couldn't get off him fast enough. A 1-1 to Encarnacion. He's out in front. It's 1-2.
I had a couple of Italian sausage today at a golf outing for charity for Vladimir Konstantinov.
Oh, nice.
I probably looked like that today about noon.
Down on strikes is Juan Encarnacion for the 2nd time tonight. 4th strikeout for Esteban Loaiza.
Well, Loaiza throws Juan a previous changeup. Here he comes with the gas up and in. Keeping it switched up. Look how Juan's choking up there. Good location. 1 down here for the Tigers on the bottom of the 5th.
Strike 1 carves the outside corner to Gabe Kapler.
Rally hats on already?
Yeah.
Don't need a rally yet. Don't use that prematurely. Something you save for the very end.
Let's go, Gabe. Those lip reading courses are paying off. 0-2 to Kapler, who with a single in the 3rd inning has his hitting streak up to 7. And Gabe had been, what, 1 for 30 at one point a couple of weeks ago. So great to see him coming out of it. And again, in part, it's that slight adjustment with that stance. He powers this one out of play.
Good job by Gabe there, just fighting the fastball into the stands.
Hey, your guy's all done.
Look at now he's trying to get it all out of his teeth. You notice that? Washing that tongue around inside there, trying to clean his teeth. Don't smile.
The 0-2 from Loaiza is in the dirt, 1-2.
Tell me you don't do that.
Oh, I do it all the time. I just don't discuss it is all.
Well, I'm one of those guys that generally do discuss it.
I know.
If I catch you when you're at the barbecue, I'll make sure everybody knows. Smile, Josh. Women are really bad with that. In fact, you ever see women, they turn to each other and go, two check, real quick.
Kepler, thankfully, puts it in play. Grounds out for the second out of the inning. And it'll be Kareem Garcia coming up next. This week on Baseball Thursday, Mark McGwire continues that quest for another home run title. The Cardinals are in Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The action starts Thursday night at 8 on Fox Sports Net Detroit. And the Shutterbugs are still buzzing around at Tiger Stadium. Anybody that owns a camera, you better believe it, they're bringing them to Tiger Stadium here as we get to the last 4 weeks in the history of this ballpark. 15 games left, although we'll be on the backside towards 14 games left after this inning.
Everybody's looking pretty cold out here tonight, Josh. Do you have a snowmobile suit for Wednesday?
No, not for Wednesday.
Be chilly.
Well, we'll have our Tiger sweatshirts on. Trying to stay warm. Kareem Garcia. McLemore kicks it into center field. And a wide turn for Kareem. He'll come back. So a measure of revenge. Loaiza trying to get it on Kareem Garcia. Thought he had it. After a tough at bat with him in the third, Kareem walking after a long at bat. Well, he gets his ground ball, but McLemore couldn't handle it.
Nope, and with 2 outs here, you'd like to see Kareem try and steal. Don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, then you'd like to see someone besides Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate.
Correct.
That is going to be scored a base hit. Now we get to the top of the order for Brad Ausmus. And Ausmus was up with 2 on, nobody out in the third, rammed into a double play. Rodriguez trying to pick off Kareem Garcia. And oh yes, he can do that if a base runner's not careful. Two of the best defensive catchers in the league right next to each other here, Pudge Rodriguez and Brad Ausmus. Inside to Brad. No runs on 2 hits for Texas, nothing on 4 for the Tigers so far. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Brad with the 45 runs batted in, tying a career high. He's already got his career high in home runs. And of course was a Tigers representative in the All-Star game this year, getting to play that in his native New England at Fenway Park in Boston. We go to 3-1, and just to polish off the thought on Pudge Rodriguez, here's how far out in front he is when you talk about percentage of runners caught stealing. Mike McFarland next best, and he's way back, and not even an everyday player. Ausmus takes a walk. So after the infield single, Brad Ausmus is able to bump Kareem Garcia to second base. Davy Cruz comes up.
Well, here's the Tigers' real first chance here with a couple guys on base. Put something on the board. 2 down.
Pop fly towards the left field line. Everybody's running. Royce Clayton makes the catch. That'll end the inning. Tigers strand a couple.
Quickly.
We will play the 6th. Tom Goodwin, Mark McLemore, and Pudge Rodriguez are coming up for Texas. Rangers and the Tigers. from the corner. Well, it is now 14 games remaining, or so they tell us at Tiger Stadium. Bill Brown, the longtime Tigers traveling secretary, got the 15 out of there, said, yep, after tonight you got 14 games left to tour Tiger Stadium. And then, by the way, we will tour Tiger Stadium a bit here. In the top of the 6th inning, take you right inside. Show you some of the Tigers' inner workings.
Facilities. I believe we're going into Brad Andrus's. He's the strength and conditioning coach's office. One of my friendly geeks with you, Josh.
Well, we're very honored. Goodwin takes on the corner. The count 1-1.
Coach's clubhouse area. And also the weight and conditioning facility. We'll look into Tram's locker. It's messy. Be able to tell with no name on there.
Goodwin showing the bunt. And Brian Moeller wants an appeal there. No, says Richie Garcia. Playing in the 6th inning, we have seen only 6 hits total in this game. Goodwin to left field. Juan Encarnacion has the range. Now, if you want to see Brad Andrus's office, the Tiger strength and conditioning coach, there's where it all starts in there.
He's somewhat of a computer guru. This is the coach's facility. There's Tram's locker right there. See, I didn't hang, Tram, hang that shirt up. There's the coaches. That's Juan Samuel working out, working on his guns. Pitching coach Dan Wortham over there on the treadmill. Probably putting in a good 30, 40 minutes.
Strike one, Moeller to McLemore. How often were you working out in the weight room back in the day?
End of my career, a ton.
Really?
Had to. How are you going to keep up with these young guys? We have to save that footage. So when we see the new facility, just to compare.
Yeah, I think it's going to look a little different.
Oh, it will.
There's only so much you can do. I mean, it's a charming stadium right here. Don't get me wrong. We all know it and love it, but you are limited in terms of what you can do for creature comforts for the players.
I did a piece on the weekly segment of Comerica Park, compared some of the areas here. We went into the trainer's room of the Tiger Stadium. The therapy pool in the new Comerica Park is bigger than the whole training room here.
We'll show you that trainer's room later this week.
Maybe about 10 by 13.
That probably 3-1 the count to McLemore.
Just off the corner.
Busted bat bouncer near second base. Damian Easley to Tony Clark for the out. So Brian Moeller now with 5 2/3 innings of 2-hit baseball. Remember back on opening day in Texas, he turned in 7 innings of 2-hit baseball, had a no-hitter through 6.
You know why I like this game?
A lot of zeros.
But the tension is going to start coming. Now it's going to get down to if you make a mistake, it costs you. It comes do or die. I like that.
Pudge Rodriguez on the ground to short. Davy Cruz up with it. Throws him out. Brian Moeller, a 2-hitter through 6. Rangers and Tigers scoreless from the corner on Fox Sports Net Detroit. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net Detroit, brought to you by Subway, the way a sandwich should be. And by Pontiac Driving Excitement and your local Pontiac dealers. So, Gibby, we were talking about the tours of the stadium we're going to be trying to take everybody on in our last few broadcasts from the corner. We'll float it out there.
Where would you like to see?
Give us an idea of where you want us to take you. Feel free to email us. The address, as you know, Kirk and Josh at foxsports.net, or you can enter directly through FlashNet's website at www.flash.net. Dean Palmer slashing one towards center. Tom Goodwin, though, will get under it to make the catch.
Now, we got a couple of emails yesterday. One from Matthew. CJ Netkowski has a great website. We were talking about it yesterday. He said others should have their websites. And there's another one from Lori. Hey, Gibby, I think you should start your own website for other bald men with tips on how to keep your dome looking so nice and well moisturized like yours. You goofy fans.
Well, you're not going to do it?
Yeah, what should I call it?
Oh, it's another topic altogether. Strike one to Tony Clark.
www.dome.com. It's an idea. Anybody want to sponsor me? I'll give the money to charity.
You would really give bald tips?
Here's an art. Might have to share some personal information to give everybody quite as moist as mine. But
terrific.
But you know, seriously, when you're bald, if you don't have good moisture on your dome,
yeah,
it flakes, and it's embarrassing.
I'll try to remember that.
Look at now that guy there, number one blade. Here's your first tip: shave it off to the number one blade. Okay, bzzz. And then now that guy there, he can just go with the top moisture. See, he's got some good shine there. But if you get it dried out, it's embarrassing.
Oh, I can only imagine. Two
Especially
and two to count.
If you wear a dark jacket and you look down there and it looks like something's walking across your shoulder. Oh. You pass.
I've got nothing to add. Unfortunately, nothing I can subtract either.
Enough.
Right, 3 and 2 to count to Tony Clark.
By the way, I did convince my good buddy David Wells to shave his head.
Yeah.
He looks like Uncle Fester.
To get him a light bulb. Ground ball towards second. Mark McLemore will throw out Tony Clark.
I did order 2 light bulbs today.
That's scary.
Do you remember when Uncle Fester used to put that light bulb in his mouth and it lit up? When Toronto comes in here, I'll get him to do it. I promise you. I've got 2 bulbs. They'll be here in 4 days.
How about 4 bulbs in 2 days? All right. Damian Easley with 2 out.
See, this is what you do to relieve the stress of this game. It's a tight game. Any mistake?
I can't see. I've got tears in my eyes.
Well, when you're bald, the sweat gets in your eyes.
Oh, terrific. Damian tonight a double, and he has bounced out. Esteban Loaiza again right there. He has only given up 4 hits tonight. Brian Moeller has only given up 2.
Paint.
Down and away, Damian Easley, of course, had the big weekend against the Orioles. Let's see if he can keep that going here. Already has a double tonight.
Well, that's the one thing about Damian with that confidence level. He's thinking it only takes 1 pitch. Put my team ahead, possibly win the game.
Little loop shot towards right field, down in front of Juan Gonzalez. So Damian Easley has a couple of hits tonight. Now here's the explanation of how locked in Damian Easley is right now. He had come into this game 1 out of 15 lifetime against Loaiza. He is 2 for 3 against him tonight. And it sets up Bobby Higginson.
Loaiza's been pounding Higgy in and up. Looks like he's going to start him off away. Ooh, good pitch right there to hit. Boy,
95 has been the number of the night for Esteban Loaiza. Seems like every Fastball he throws is between maybe 93 and 96, but most of them right there at 95. On the corner, 1-2. Now Higgy tonight a couple of pop-outs to short and to second. That batting average down to .238. We talked about Brian Moeller, the Tigers starter, the very first game of the year. That shut down these Texas Rangers on 2 hits. He's doing it again tonight. The difference is the Tigers had 11 runs of support for him on opening day. That, of course, in Arlington. Opening day here at Tiger Stadium, a very different story. Willie Blair pitched his best ball game of the year. The Tigers and the Twins went deep into extra innings before the game was decided on a Todd Walker home run. 1-0 the final in the last ever home opener at Tiger Stadium. Swept foul. Will do it again. That game ended up 1-0 in 12 innings. And here we are, zeros for both the Rangers and the Tigers as we play in the bottom of the 6th tonight. Easily not going. Higginson fights it foul. Hanging around in this at bat. Boy, Esteban Loaiza, who lost his spot in the rotation during spring training, then broke his hand in May. There's been a huge second half upgrade for these Texas Rangers. Was banished to the bullpen pretty much the whole first half of the season. The 2-2 out pitch. Higginson swats it to right field, down in front of Gonzalez. Easily has to hold at second. Really a terrific at bat for Bobby Higginson, fighting off the foul balls and finally blasting away. That'll bring up Juan Encarnacion with 2 on.
We'll see Higgy right here. Here's the front swing. Good pitch, fouls a few off. There you see him stand back. I'd like to see him get some backspin on that. But to put the Tigers up 2-0. Good quality AB.
Johnny Oates with his pitching coach Dig Bosman, the mustached fellow on the right. On appeal, yes he did, says Brian Onora. 0-1 to Juan Encarnacion. Already Juan has struck out a couple times in this game.
They've really fed the off-speed pitches to Juan early in the count.
Yep, sinkers and sliders.
Then they get him on the fastballs late.
That one had some action on it. 0-2.
2 strikes, but really 2 balls.
Just missed outside. We go to 1-2. Juan trying to keep it hot for Gabe Kapler.
The only fastball Juan's going to see, probably up and in.
Got him. That pitch tailing away from Juan. It's been a tough night for him with the 3 strikeouts. And in fact, Juan now nothing for his last 12 on this homestand. Still no score at the end of 6 tonight.
Top of the 7th, no score. And tune in later tonight for the locker room when Eli, Gary, and I discuss and debate the latest sports happenings. It's the locker room presented by General Motors tonight at 12:30 on Fox Sports Net Detroit.
Give us a hint. Give us a hint. What are you talking about?
Like what?
I don't know. You tell me.
Tune
It's
in. You'll
your
see.
show.
You'll be home 12:30 in the morning. What are you getting at, Josh?
I'm just wondering what
You're
you're going to.
fishing.
What are you talking about?
You're
is all?
fishing.
You're talking about fishing?
No, but you're fishing.
Rusty Greer takes, and the count 1-1 to him from Brian Moeller. Tough part of the order: Greer, Gonzalez, and Palmero.
Did you have something you wanted to ask me?
No, not really.
Okay.
Greer bouncing one back to Brian Moeller. And I'll tell you what, Brian Moeller right now,
Cruising.
absolutely getting Greer to keep the ball in the infield 3 times tonight. As hot as he's been. Now you got to go get Gonzalez and Palmero. Either one of these guys with the potential to hit one a long way.
Well, Brian's got 93 pitches now, and so far in this game, everything has been down. You get a little tired. You hope that he doesn't start elevating.
By the way, Gibby, we want to say hello to the young fans from Operation Helping Hand watching tonight's game from the right field porch for kids. Presented by Pontiac. Fox Sports Net Detroit pleased to donate tickets to Michigan youth organizations to watch Tigers baseball. For more information, call Tigers Care at 313-962-4000. Here is Gonzalez. And remember, it was Gonzalez who broke up Moeller's no-hit bid back on opening day in the 7th inning.
That is a jinx if I've ever heard one.
It's just factually based.
Why would you bring that up?
Well, look, I mean, here's the two guys. They've got a bit of a history with each other.
That's good positive visualization.
I'm visualizing a strikeout right here, wise guy.
Better be.
Moeller's gotten him on a comebacker tonight. He's also walked him. Crowd of 19,007 at Tiger Stadium tonight. Attendance still about 30% up from this point last year. The Tigers look like they will draw 2 million to the ballpark this year. Look out. Breaking ball got away, 2-1.
That's a good one that gets away from you there. Up and into one, even though it was off speed, backs him off.
In the foul ground, Tony Clark in pursuit. See, there's positive visualization there.
So you were thinking about him breaking up the no-hitter the other day.
I was just remembering it. Wasn't rooting for it. So with 2 out and 5 straight retired by Brian Moeller, here comes Palmero. Now, can I mention without being called a jinx that this guy's got 40 home runs?
Tell you after the AB.
He's doing his Rudy York impression here in the month of August. 15 homers, 39 runs batted in. That's in a month. Month's not over. Right to first, Tony Clark grabs it, and Brian Moeller with a 2-hitter through 7 against the Texas Rangers. Hottest swinging team in baseball. No score, and for a look at what's coming up after the game, we go back to the Fox Network Center.
Hey, Tiger fans, as we end the 7th inning stretch, don't forget that Subway has 7 sandwiches under 6 grams of fat.
We are going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Gabe Kapler will be followed by Kareem Garcia and Brad Ausmus in a scoreless baseball game. Brian Moeller was matched up tonight against a team that has had at least 10 hits 9 games in a row. And a team that has homered in 9 consecutive ball games. A team that's only lost 13 games since the All-Star break. And he has 2-hit them so far. Kapler, deep drive, left field.
Nope.
At the track. Yes! Well, the ball didn't make us wait, didn't it? It hung up there for a good long time. It dropped just over the wall. Out of reach of Rusty Greer. Number 15 for Kapler. The Tigers have the lead.
Well, like I said, Loaiza makes a mistake. It's up in the zone. Just about belled high. See that wind howling and barely over the fence. See Loaiza. His reaction. Rusty Greer can't bring it in.
Now Garcia spanks one in the center, a base hit for him. Well, the bottom of the order tonight getting it done for the Tigers. Kareem Garcia from the number 9 spot has been on base 3 times tonight. Kapler has a single and, of course, the home run. Tigers out hitting the Rangers now 8-2. They've given Brian Moeller 1 run with which to work, at least. The Rangers get their bullpen stirring for the first time.
Well, really nothing hit hard up to this point. 2 quick hits. Rangers will get somebody up in the pen. Here comes Mr. Bosman out.
Nick Bosman, who remembers giving up a long Norm Cash home run here at Tiger Stadium, was talking to him before the game. Was here to watch Frank Howard's rooftop home run off Mickey Lolich. As you see, the native Michigander Tim Crabtree getting up in the bullpen.
Tim Crabtree has 50 or so people from the Jackson area here tonight to watch him, including his mother. Fellow Michigan Stater. Influenced by the same guy who influenced me, our ex-baseball coach Tom Smith.
But for now, Loaiza. And to the top of the order against Brad Ausmus. Well, going back to last year, is 7 for his last 8 against this guy. There goes Kareem Garcia running on Pudge Rodriguez, and it's not close.
Not even.
Tigers playing around with fate a little bit right there. And we'll see if Kareem and Larry Parrish are going to sit next to each other right about here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this steal was on number 1, or didn't have a real good jump right there. You can see Loaiza gets rid of the ball very quickly. This is no contest.
Now Kareem with only a couple of steals all year. And running against a guy that is the toughest to buy a steal against.
Wonder if that isn't maybe a delay steal or something.
Ausmus fooled on that one. And again, we've talked about how great Ausmus has been against Loaiza. So a few things conspire to make you go,
CLP.
Down and outside, 3-1 now to Brad Ausmus. Tigers do lead it 1-0 on the home run by Kapler. So Osmus now flips the bat aside. He's on with a walk. A home run, a single, and a walk in the inning. Unfortunately, the caught stealing in the mix as well. Davy Cruz comes to the plate. And Esteban Loaiza, the pitch count floating up there now, up to 101. And remember, the Rangers, one of their strengths this year has been the bullpen. They're usually not shy about going and getting a pitcher with 100 or so.
There he goes.
Yep, Johnny Oates is going to come and get him. And Loaiza, who remember has not lost as a starter all year, came in at 7-1. He is on the hook right now on the Kapler home run that has made it 1-0. Tigers trying to scratch for more in the bottom of the 7th inning. Loaiza out, Crabtree in. Folks, you can get your video copy of Michigan in Trumbull, the history of Tiger Stadium. It's narrated by the Hall of Fame voice of the Tigers, Ernie Harwell, and features rare footage, priceless player interviews. To order your video, call 1-888-774-3882. Tim Crabtree brought in to face Davy Cruz. Tigers up 1-0 on the home run by Gabe Kapler. And some pretty good numbers for a pretty hard thrower, Tim Crabtree. Out of Grass Lake High School. And he sizzles that one into Davy Cruz. Crabtree wears that number 23, just like another former Michigan Stater. That is not a coincidence that he asked for Kirk Gibson's number.
No, he was a big 84 fan.
Fouls that one out of play. Does Davy Cruz. What was the story with 23? Did you pick that, or was that assigned to you? How did 23 come to be for you?
Went to Michigan State. That was it.
They handed that number to you in football or in baseball first? Football first, right?
Yep, just went in there to football. It was number 23. That was the deal.
Ground ball towards short. 6-4. McLemore dropped the baseball. He had it long enough for the force out. Was trying to get the double play turned. Here comes Larry Parrish to argue with Laz Diaz, that second base umpire.
CLP, let's take a look. Has he got something to complain about? You're supposed to take the ball out of your hand. Looks like it was in McLemore's glove. Then he dropped it on the transfer. It's clearly in. Well, slow it down, and you're going to get that call 9 times out of 10, though.
Dean Palmer will be the Tiger batter. Dean Palmer was challenging Larry Parrish for some of those Rangers home run and RBI records. They both ended up top 10 in Rangers history, at least for now. Larry Parrish had some pretty good years with the Texas Rangers. Played there in the 80s from 82 to 88. Finished up with the Boston Red Sox before spending a couple years in Japan. LP had a pair of 100 RBI seasons in a Texas Ranger uniform. .200 RBI seasons on the left in a Rangers uniform. 2 100 RBI seasons on the right. Third baseman. Going to hit around 260. And we're good for 30 or so home runs. Now they're together. One managing the other here for the Tigers.
CLP and Tram doing a lot of talking tonight. Notice that?
Yep. Larry Parrish with the likes of Jeff Burrows and some of those other guys that played in the 70s. The Rangers always had some guys who could slug. And by the way, Jeff Burrows' son, Sean Burrows, had a big night last night against the West Michigan Whitecaps. Sean Burrows, a very highly regarded prospect, had 4 hits against West Michigan yesterday for the Fort Wayne Wizards. Whitecaps rallied from down 6-1 yesterday, only to lose in 12 innings, 9-8. Check swing by Palmer. And speaking of third base prospects, West Michigan's Matt Boone, the son of Bob Boone, grandson of Ray Boone, had 3 hits in the game yesterday for the Whitecaps. The 1-2. Palmer fouls it off of Pudge Rodriguez. By the way, Toledo, just speaking of the minor leagues, lost yesterday, but actually check that. Toledo won yesterday, and they got a home run from David McCarty to give him 28. You wonder if we might see him in September for the heck of it. He is a veteran, not a prospect. Just outside to Palmer, 2-2. Yeah, Brandon Reed got the win for the Mud Hens yesterday, the native of Flint. Two-out pitch. Golf towards left center. On the move, Goodwin. He makes the catch, and the inning is over.
Made a bid.
But Palmer hit it hard. Gabe Kapler hit it high, and his got out. The Tigers lead the Rangers 1-0 after 7.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
1-0. As a descendant of Wilford Brimley watches on at Tiger Stadium, Todd Zeal takes strike 1. Doug Brocail has taken to getting loose in the bullpen in support of the man with a 2-hitter, Brian Moeller. Zeal cuts at it, fouls it out of play. Brian Moeller has been ahead of just about everybody tonight. And this is a key here, Gibby. If he's able to get a 1-2-3 8th inning, if he can get through Zeal, Stevens, and Clayton, Tigers have a shot to avoid Gonzalez and Palmeiro in the 9th.
Well, it is, and you know, we've got Brocail up right now. You know, how long do you go with Brian Moeller? Do you let him go for the complete game, or do you go for the victory, the sure victory? Maybe, I think relievers like to get the bases empty as opposed to maybe a guy on.
Well, it's just a shade more than 100 pitches right now for Brian Moeller. Following up on a 7 1/3 inning effort in Seattle 5 days ago.
Seattle finally trying to get a win up in the 2nd. Boston keeps on rolling. Mo Martinez is going to be back soon.
2-2 from Moeller to Zeal. Did he go? No, he didn't. In a 1-0 game, obviously, you want to keep Zeal off at first here, leading off in the 8th inning.
Boy, Mets beating up on Houston.
The Astros beating up themselves. They've got basically their entire outfield hurt right now.
Yep.
In the air to center. Gabe Kapler's there. He's got it. 1 out. And you can't really overstate what a big out that is. You go to 3-2 on Zeal. Zeal, a guy with a good eye. He's not going to swing at anything that he doesn't want to necessarily. And Brian Moeller gets him to fly out to center field to open things in the 8th inning. First pitch swinging. Lee Stevens grounds to Easley. Brian Moeller following up 7 1/3 innings in Seattle with 7 2/3 innings here at home tonight. A 2-hit shutout right now. Remember, the second pitch of the game was hammered into right field by Mark McLemore. McLemore then stole second. And it looked like the Rangers would kind of be off and running again, as they have been since the All-Star break. Ball one to Royce Clayton, but after McLemore was standing at second base, Pudge Rodriguez bounced out. Rusty Greer lined into a double play right back to Moeller. And from there, Moeller has been terrific. He gets a strike to Clayton. Tigers turned another double play. Pudge Rodriguez hit into that one in the 4th inning. Only 2 strikeouts. He's letting his defense do the work for him. Little looper towards right. Kareem Garcia. There. Got it. 2-hitter intact. Shutout intact. And the fans are digging it at Tiger Stadium. Brian Moeller trying to get that first win since July the 23rd. It is 1-0 in his favor. There it is, 1-0 Tigers in support of Brian Moeller. And the game summary brought to you by Comerica Bank. Damian Easley, big homestand. Brian Moeller, big year against the Rangers, and specifically tonight. Gabe Kapler is starting to come on again. And look at the bottom of the batting order for the Tigers on this homestand. Tonight, Gabe Kapler and Kareem Garcia have been doing most of that from the bottom of the lineup.
Look at that ERA by Brian Moeller, .60 against the Rangers. Boy, he'd probably be well liked by somebody like Cleveland right now. Shutting the Rangers down. No balls and a strike. T. Clark.
Tony's 8-game hitting streak in limbo. Line drive, 9-game hitting streak. And a little extra for Brian Moeller would not be a horrible idea right here. Try to build it up from 1-0.
No, not at all. And I doubt that Damian Easley is going to be bunting right here. Take a look at Tony. Gets the ball out over the plate. Drives it right by Todd Zeal, the third baseman. Good line drive. Tony on the first. How do you get him to second? Damian's only got 1 sack bunt this year.
What Damian does have against Crabtree, last time he faced him, is a triple. That down in Texas. Couple of hits tonight. And remember the 4 home runs against the Orioles this past weekend. Towards left. Here comes Rusty Greer. He won't get it. He barehands it. It's 2 on, nobody out. A 3-hit night for Damian Easley. That'll bring up Bobby Higginson. And it will also get the Rangers bullpen stirring again.
Well, now again, Larry Parrish in a position here. First and second, nobody out. It's definitely a bunt situation. See what happens to these infielders here. Zeal still back a ways.
Higginson without a sacrifice in a little more than 3 years. Not showing any signs of the bunt. He takes a strike. Two on, nobody out. 96-mile-an-hour fastball is outside. Dick Bosman doesn't like what he's seeing out there. The Rangers pitching coach will head out to the mound.
You got to believe Tim Crabtree a little extra pumped up tonight. Being pretty much home. Maybe overthrowing a bit.
And in the bullpen now, Danny Kolb gets to work for the Rangers. Don't forget, folks, tonight on Fox Sports News Primetime. That'll come up right after the Tigers game. Update you on all the pennant races. Updates from all the NFL camps or any that are breaking any news. U.S. Open tennis results. That's tonight on Fox Sports News Primetime. Johnny Oates' team had come in winners of 4 straight, 11 of their last 14. Tigers trying to run away here in the 8th, leading 1-0, 2 on, and nobody out for Higginson. Tigers about hit the Rangers 10-2, but lead just 1-0. Towards first, Lee Stevens gets 1, back to first, got 2, got the double play. Just a second that Bobby Higginson has hit into all year.
Well, and you know Higgy's come off the DL. He's got that bad toe, so he's somewhat hampered by how far and how fast he can get down the line. Stevens, this is a good turn right here. He gets it, good quick throw. Clayton with a good chance. See him sell himself out right there.
So it's now Tony Clark at third. Now the inning left to Juan Encarnacion, who's trying to redeem himself. He has struck out 3 times tonight.
Boy, this hit right here by Juan Encarnacion would be huge.
The speediest man on the team will lead off for the Rangers in the 9th inning, Tom Goodwin. Rip and a miss, quick throw. And Tony Clark scrambles back. How's the confidence for Pudge Rodriguez? If that ball gets by Zeal or hits the big body of Tony Clark, it could be a 2-0 game.
Look how quick this ball. Here's Tony. Here's what he's got to do. He sees it go right back.
One ball, 1 strike to Encarnacion. Crabtree now falls behind 2-1. You got Jackson, Michigan on the mound. You got Battle Creek, Michigan calling balls and strikes with Crabtree and the home plate umpire Mike Riley. Big cut. More 96-mile-an-hour smoke from Crabtree. 2-2. Gabe Kapler, who has accounted for the only run tonight, waits on deck. A 4-strikeout night for Encarnacion. And now to Brian Moeller. A 2-hit shutout through 8. He will go after Goodwin, McLemore, and Pudge Rodriguez in the 9th. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net Detroit, brought to you by McDonald's. Did somebody say McDonald's? By Comerica, we listen, we understand, we make it work. And by Pepsi, the joy of cola. Oh, here we go, 9th inning, 1-0 Tigers.
Get the leadoff guy. That's the key.
Especially this guy, Tom Goodwin, as you see the cornermen.
Well in.
Yep. Tom Goodwin, if he gets on, boy, he loves to run around. He's got 31 steals this year. Ball and a strike to count to him. Todd Jones is getting ready in the bullpen just in case. Out in front of that one. 112 pitches tonight thrown by Brian Moeller. Not showing any signs of getting any weaker. He is looking for his 2nd complete game shutout of the year. The other right here against the Twins back in June.
Ooh. He lay off that.
Two-two delivery. Tagged foul. After Goodwin, it is Mark McLemore, another guy with speed, then Pudge Rodriguez, who's got power. The big boppers, Gonzalez and Palmeiro, do 5th and 6th in the inning respectively, so Moeller hoping to reduce them to a moot point. 2-2 pitch to Goodwin. On the ground towards Davy Cruz. Tough play because this guy's fast, and they got him. If there was anybody on the Texas Rangers roster that could have beaten it out, it was Tom Goodwin. And Davy Cruz, though it looked like a routine play, knew he had to hustle to get Goodwin.
A little uncomfortable with this. Well, I'll get to it in a second. Good.
Top of the order, Mark McLemore. Remember, he hit the 2nd pitch of the game for a single. Bowler's only given up 1 hit since. 1-0 the count. Moeller has not allowed a base runner since the 5th inning. Royce Clayton reached, and he did so on an infield single, then was immediately caught stealing. Moeller walked 2 back in the 4th. And there was that single, of course, by McLemore back in the 1st. That's been it. Strike call, 2-1. And again, to do this to the Texas Rangers, a team that's just been mashing the ball here in the month of August. A team that just swept the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto. Couldn't have asked for a tougher assignment for Brian Moeller tonight. Coming in at 8-14. He is now 2 outs away.
Don't you feel aren't you kind of scared right here, sitting on the edge of your seat?
It's a great place to be. 2-2 pitch towards 3rd, and a fair ball. Tough play. Palmer gets it there.
Oh!
Safe is the call by Brian O'Nora. A tremendous pick by Clark. And a cannon throw from Palmer just to get it there.
Well, this is a pretty good stop by Dino. He takes his time and sets up. Smart play. Doesn't want to throw it away. And Tony makes the pick, but he's not able to stretch here. Well, if he can get out closer. Oh, is that close?
Infield a hit. That's just the third hit all game for Texas. 2 of them have stayed in the infield, both of them towards Dean Palmer. Now Pudge Rodriguez comes up, and he has hit the ball on the ground to Davy Cruz all 3 times tonight. How about number 4? First pitch is a strike to Ivan Rodriguez. Rodriguez had been 7 out of 14 in Toronto. But again, nothing for 3 tonight. Blasting that one to right.
Ball.
Garcia's got it. 2 down.
All right, Brian Moeller. He's today's McDonald's player of the game so far. 8 2/3. Gosh, this is a jinx. I hate to do it, but she made me do it. Remember, if you chose Brian, you're eligible to win a McDonald's family 4-pack of tickets to an upcoming Tiger game. Only 14 left. Join us tomorrow night to see if you were the lucky winner. 14 games. Ooh. 2 outs. Tigers got a shutout going.
Strike. Yes. 1 to Rusty Greer. Moeller bulldogging his way through. He's up to 122 pitches tonight.
Well, you really want to get Rusty Greer. Trouble looms.
Yep. Gonzalez and Palmero would be next. Just missed the corner. 1-1.
Notice how Brian Moeller, pitchers will do this a lot. There's one Gonzalez in the on-deck circle. They'll start to throw a lot of pitches away because they know if they miss inside, it means big fly.
A foul ball, 1-2. He's a strike away from dousing the flames of the Texas Rangers. The Rangers with 79 wins, with arguably the best offense in baseball right now. Larry Parrish sticking with his starter, Brian Moeller, to get this last out. Moeller coming off that game in Seattle in which he pitched well enough to win, but didn't win. Gave up 7 hits in a little more than 7 innings. Tonight he's kept it down to 3.
Brian Moeller doesn't get Rusty Greer. Does Todd Jones come in to face Juan Gonzalez?
Another foul ball, and this is why Rusty Greer is such a tough guy to have up in this situation. Great handler of the bat. And with 2 strikes, he knows his job is just to keep peeling these pitches away, the ones that he cannot drive. McLemore, the base runner, he's got good enough speed that a ball towards an alley has a chance to tie this game.
Also, you don't want to forget about it. Those girls, they want to see it over. They're freezing.
Ground ball, second base. Ball game's over. "12 fly ball outs, 12 ground ball outs. And the 6th career shutout for Brian Moeller is tonight. against a team for which Larry Parrish once played, the Texas Rangers. Tigers get their 5th shutout of the season, the 2nd for Moeller. A 3-hitter against the very hot Texas Rangers. Congratulations to Brian. He has won his 9th. The Tigers are back in the win column. The next Tigers action on Fox Sports Net Detroit is tomorrow. The Rangers in for game 2 of the series. John Keating's pregame show at 6:30. Now for my partner Kirk Gibson. This is Josh Lewin saying so long from the corner, where there are now only 14 home games left. Again, your final score tonight: the Tigers 1, the Rangers nothing. The Gabe Kapler home run stands up. You've been watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net Detroit. Now, stay tuned. Fox Sports News Primetime is coming up next.
Have played 6,860 games on this piece of earth, but we think it's an all-time first that a broadcast team described the action on the field from this particular vantage point. Kirk Gibson and Josh Lewin talking of the Tigers and the Rangers on this particular night here in downtown Detroit. And while we'll be sad to see Tiger Stadium go away, we can't help but be excited about Comerica Park, which we're told will be as nice or even nicer than almost every other ballpark in Major League Baseball. Kirk Gibson, because of his status as a former player and now a broadcaster, has visited virtually every stadia in professional baseball. And he compares the Tigers' new home with its old.
You know, there's only a few days left at Old Tiger Stadium, and my curiosity's killing me. I'm wondering, what's the new park going to compare to the old park? Come on, let's go check it out. Now we're in the training facility. This is the whirlpool area where all the whirlpools go. This is a rehab swimming pool where the guys are going to come in, they fill this up with water, and they do a lot of rehab work. Big, huge training area right in here. Lots of nice space with storage. This training facility in Tiger Stadium sure is a far cry from our new home. And the Tiger weight room, conditioning facilities. There'll be a window right here as guys walk into the clubhouse over here. Shapes all the way around. Again, plenty of room. Brad Andrus will like this. From the new to the old. Even though I spent a lot of time in here, I'm sure not going to be sad to see this go. Yeah, I guess the dugouts are a little bigger. Players sure seem to have outgrown these dugouts over the years. I'd like to see Reggie Jackson hit one over these babies. Sitting in the top rows. Well, the good thing about up here, at least in the new Comerica Park, you're out of the rain up here, one of the few places. You know, there were some who wanted to save Tiger Stadium. But think about it. Are you really going to miss this view? I don't think so. The first autograph at Comerica Park. Thank you. All right. And finally, this would be the place that I probably wish that I could stand up here and play, but never will be able to again. But quite a different view here from the old Tiger Stadium. You see the city skyline out there, and you can only visualize having all the stands full of fans. And I think I see a World Championship right around the corner. So there you have it. My curiosity satisfied. It looks like new Comerica Park is going to be a great place to play and a great place to watch a ball game. It won't be long before Ernie will be saying about Tiger Stadium, it's long gone.
All right, Gibby, thanks. Still to come on the show, two Tiger catchers of the team's past talk of their present. And Jim Price and Lance Parrish are together, very excited about its future. You'll hear their conversation when we come back to the corner in a moment.
You know, to me, the future is bright. And
Not lack enthusiasm, and one of the more enthusiastic members of this team is third base coach Lance Parrish. Last year, he was managing a team as a home broadcaster, at least since 1960. When we come back, Ernie Harwell will take us into some of the nooks and crannies of Tiger Stadium. That's as we roll along from the corner in a moment. Detroit is brought to you by McDonald's. Did somebody say McDonald's? Oh, isn't that pretty? The sun setting beyond Tiger Stadium. Do we have a special treat in store for you now? We're in the television booth here at storied Tiger Stadium. Just to my left sits the radio booth, and within that sits Ernie Harwell. And there was no one on the planet who knows more about Tiger Stadium than does Ernie Harwell, who has been talking of the Tigers from here in this ballpark since 1960. Ernie's now going to give us a special guided tour. He knows all of the nuances of this ballpark. 40 years of experience will give you that kind of knowledge.
Hey, what about this old place? This great old place has been here a long, long time. Baseball's been played here over 100 years, and over that period there have been a lot of changes. But let's take a little look at Tiger Stadium, the way it is and the way it was. Our stroll through Tiger Stadium might as well begin right here on the flagpole. It's 125 feet high, and if you looked at a picture back in 1912 of old Lewin Field, when they first opened the ballpark in April of 1912, you'd see a picture of this flagpole with Old Glory flying on top of it. Now we've made our way from the old historic flagpole, and we're in an area that is used for storage, especially for the vehicles that maintain the grounds here. And at one time, this was a bullpen, and the pitchers warmed up down here before they came into action. Later on, they warmed up between the dugouts and home plate, so you would have the opposing pitchers warming up at the same time on each side of home plate. You saw the old bullpen, and this is a new one. This is a current bullpen, believe it or not, and there's not a whole lot of improvement because you're under the earth right here, and you got these things that you really can't see through, so it's probably the worst view in the ballpark. And watch, I'll show you that it's not very easy to get out of here either. And now we're out where they actually begin to warm up. Well, we're upstairs now in Tiger Stadium, getting up in the world a little bit. When John Fetzer took over the leadership of the Tigers in the 1960s, he and Jim Campbell wanted a little privacy to watch the Tigers in action, so they built this booth, and they could enter this booth from the front office without being bothered by the fans. This is a different view for me. I'm usually over here in that booth where you see the big English D, and that's my partner Jim Price on the radio, and that's been the radio booth for quite a while. When they renovated the press box, they had a fire in the press box and had to do it over. They changed our booth from, it was down the first baseline over to where it is now, almost back on home plate. It's very small, but it's adequate, and I tell you one thing, there's always a lot of hot air in that radio booth. This is another unique feature here at Tiger Stadium, one everybody knows about. It's the famous overhang. It's about 8 to 10 feet out, and the right fielder can stand under here thinking maybe he'll catch a fly ball, and it'll end up in the overhang for a home run. And the reason for the overhang is that when they rebuilt the stadium in the mid-30s, they wanted to upper deck this part of the stadium, but they didn't have any room out on Trumbull Avenue, so instead of going out that way, they had to come back this way. Finally, let's take a look at the third deck here at Tiger Stadium. In the middle back of the plate, you see the current press box. Down that way is some more third deck, and it extends all the way around past the right field foul line into right center field. Now, that third deck was constructed in 1935 for the World Series between the Cubs and the Tigers, and it has been used for overflow crowds, but they found out it was tough to get people up there. They had bathroom problems, and the fire laws didn't want them to do it. Thanks for going along on the mini tour with us, and we hope you'll come out to Tiger Stadium before the season ends. And once Tiger Stadium's gone and we've said goodbye, let's say hello to Comerica Park and come out and join us there.
All right, Ernie, thanks. We'll keep that in mind the next time we visit Tiger Stadium. And there is still time for you to tell us your favorite Tiger memories. And the upside for you is that you could win tickets to the final game played ever here at Tiger Stadium on September 27th. In 100 words or less, please, tell us your most memorable moment at the corner. And since we are an audio-visual medium, if you have pictures or old film or anything like that to back up your memories, all the better. Send them off to us at this address. The broadcast booth, The Perch, here at Tiger Stadium. We'll see you next week, everybody.